basic thing though, which I think a lot of spearmen don't do a good job of, is if Solusar is the guy directly in front of me in the enemy shield wall, he's not going to be my target. I'm going to be trying to kill this guy and this guy. And this is an 8-foot spear, and I usually fight with my 10. So even with my 10-foot spear, I can kill this guy and I can kill that guy. So I have about 5 people that I can kill in the shield wall pretty effectively.
Not everyone's going to pay attention.
Yeah, and these 2 guys are going to pay attention to me a lot less than Solusar is, and the 2 guys next to them are going to pay attention to me even less than he is. So that's one of the main reasons you want to kill those 4 guys, not Solusar. So if we're going to kind of combine a jackhammer and a single shot style here. So I'm going to be jackhammering Solusar, and I'm not going to be paying attention to Solusar really, because he's probably not going to attack me unless he's a really superior shield fighter and he's really ballsy. So I'm hitting here just to make people think I'm going to kill him, and then I'm going to wait for one of the shield men next to him to throw a shot. And so I'll hit here and then come through and hit the side of that guy. And this is where you're going to get most of your kills at Ragnarok, because there's going to be a lot of people to choose from, and a lot of people don't know how to fight against spearmen, and they don't know how to watch them. And so this is like the bulk of my kills at Ragnarok, is these type of shots. And when you have a 10 or 12-foot spear, you can really just go crazy and hit people 2 or 3 all the way down there. And if somebody even like maybe 5 people over comes and charges your line, you can hit them as they come across, but you have to step ahead of the shield wall, so it's kind of dangerous. So when you're fighting with other shieldmen, you always want to fight with shieldmen that know how to fight with spearmen, because there's a lot of shieldmen that don't know how to fight with spearmen at Ragnarok. So you got to make sure you're at least with aggressive shield fighters or shield fighters who know how to fight with spearmen. I don't know why there's so many shield fighters that don't know how to fight with spearmen effectively, but there's a lot of them out at Ragnarok. And so if you can find a good shield fighter, like maybe one from your home realm, or a couple guys that you've seen at Ragnarok that are good fighters, try to team up with them as much as you can, because you're going to keep them alive longer, and they're going to keep you alive longer, so it's going to be mutually beneficial. And the reason you want aggressive shield fighters is a lot of times you'll overextend yourself and throw a bad shot, and somebody's going to grab the top of your spear, and you might be able to pull that guy onto the ground. But if Solusar is a weak shield fighter, he's just going to stand there and be too afraid to kill this guy that's laying there face down. But Solusar, I know, is an aggressive shield fighter. I'm going to pull this guy to the ground, Solusar is going to be on top of him, that guy's going to be dead, and then I'm going to be back up to protect Solusar before he gets back into the line. So it's going to work really good for both of us. And in the event that you have bad shield fighters with you, this happens all the time at Ragnarok, this is not a good way to make friends, but what I usually do is, I'm going to step in a little bit, if Solusar is not really being smart, I'm going to push him where I want him, because he doesn't know what he's doing, and I know he's going to live better here, we're going to get more kills together, so you push him around where you put him. And it's not a real friendly thing to do, but it works really well. Yeah, and like if I see Solusar spacing out, or maybe really focusing on the guy in front of him, as a spearman, I'm going to be watching more of the archers and airborne. So, if I see an archer focusing in on him, I'm going to move his shield to where he needs to block that arrow, or move his body, or just alert him that there's an archer that's about to kill him. So it's it's a mutually beneficial relationship here. We're both trying to keep each other alive. The next thing we're going to go over is what I call, the clash, where you have one shield wall running at another, and I see a lot of spearmen do a bad job of this, and I think a lot of people disagree with me here. But at Ragnarok, when you got 2 forces coming together at really fast, when we're in a line and I've got my spear down and the wall's hit, all my spear is going to do is hit some shield, it's going to get bounced to the side, or it's going to get stuck up like this. I'm not going to get any kills until people die. So rather than possibly injuring somebody in that situation or having my spear pinned, I always come up, I'll start the charge up here, but right before we clash, I'll bring my spear up or take a step back. And this allows the shield wall to hit, and then people die real quick, and then as the shield wall reestablishes itself, then I'll drop my spear and I'll be ready to fight. And other spearmen that don't do this generally get stuck in this big, melee. They can't do anything. They lose their spear in this big, crush, and then they get killed, or they're not effective until, 4 or 5 seconds after I've already started killing people, because they have to get their spear back. So when those sides hit, raise your spear, take a step back, let the shieldmen do their job, And then as the line reestablishes, plant yourself up and start getting kills again.